Dying! So at the moment in this video, my time counts down from 20 to 0 and I will die. I will go to the game over scene. And my enemy just batters into me. But as you can see over in the top left-hand side, I've got live 0. And at this point, it's actually not doing anything other than pushing me around. So this video is basically going to be about setting up our enemy so that when it does clatter into the player, we lose a life. Or we could potentially do a health. So we could start off at 100 and decrease down by 5 as we go along, but you can kind of change that around yourselves. But what my plan is that when I get hit 3 times by the enemy, I die and go to the game over scene. So what I've done first of all on the canvas, if I go back onto scene, I did originally have the score title, the score, and the time title and the time. I've just copied and pasted those and called them lives title and changed it to text which says lives. And the same for lives here, I've typed in 0. It doesn't actually make a difference what I type in there, which will become apparent as we look at the code. Now, one thing before we actually start out kind of getting code set up so we can kill the player itself, if you click on it, can you make sure that it is tagged as player? And that'll become apparent as we go along as well. Now, a bad guy has a script already on it, so it'll basically chase me around all over the place. And I'm going to add another script called KillPlayer. As you can see, I've already got it typed in there. New script, create an ad. And when it loads up and I double click on it, we're going to change the code which is in here. So it will kind of like kill us then. So the idea will be I will copy and paste this over and then I'll explain what it does. So if I get all this highlighted and paste it in, so first things first, we've got this UI thing at the top so we can actually update our lives text box. Our lives are set to 3. You can choose what that's going to be. And like I said, if you're doing health, you can make it 100 and it could decrease by 5 every single time you get hit. But in my case, I'm setting lives to 3. It will decrease by 1 every time I get hit and it will update the text box, the lives text box, which I've got typed up. So the start part basically sets the lives to 3 for me. And then every time the enemy, which this code is attached to, bumps into the player, which the tag then I just talked to you about making sure the player has the player tag, the lives will decrease by 1 and the lives text box will update accordingly. So if I press save onto that and I come on to here, I shouldn't have any error messages. Great. Before I actually press play to see if that works, the only thing I need to do on bad guy, and I've come down to where the text now is, so kill player, the lives text box, where is this 0 here? I'm just going to drag that across, drop her into there, and what should happen now is when the game starts, my lives will start at 3, and every time it gets bumped into, so there's 2 lives, 1 life, 0 lives, -1 lives and so on. Okay, so that's kind of working. But obviously, when I get to 0 lives, I want it to take me to game over. So a couple of things I just need to quickly add to it. Literally a few lines on here. So I'm going to add in scene management because that's not currently there at the top. And we're just going to edit our code slightly. So it basically says if our lives, so I'm just going to pop it in there. If our lives hit 1 and then we hit again, it will take us to the game over scene. Otherwise, else it will continue to take down our lives by 1 like it did previously. So let's just test that works. Okay, so I've saved that and coming back onto here. And then I'm going to press play. So what should happen this time is when I get clattered 3 times, so there's 1, there's 2, and there's another 1. It takes me to the game over scene. Great, so that's working. But it's a bit annoying the fact that that bad guy just keeps on smashing into me and I haven't really got a chance to get away. So there's a couple of things we can do to kind of fix that. We can either have it so the bad guy bounces away or it respawns. So the bouncing away bit is literally just adding those couple of lines there because I'll demonstrate them both while we've got the time. So it goes up here and I add those into there. I also need to add in this line to the start, like so. And then finally, there's a couple of lines down here which are a little bit of writing, but it kind of does the job. So if I drop these in down to this part, I just want to double check where they need to go actually, because I think they might need to be done in a particular order. No, I don't think it makes a difference actually. So if I pop it in there, I save that. Now, at the moment, the bounce is set to 10. I could actually do a little bit more for now so we can see it kind of be a bit more effective when we run it. So the bounce basically means that when he hits into me, and I'm just going to kind of stand still, I'm not going to try to run away from him. There we are, he bounces away, and then he comes back from me and he bounces away again. And then when it hits me a third time, it kills me. Now, nothing wrong with doing it that way, but if you kind of want to make it a bit simpler, so I'm going to take out these lines I have added in. So those ones at the top there as well. Do I still need that one in there? Yeah, that shouldn't be. Yeah, that's fine like that. You might want to get the enemy to respawn back in a place. It doesn't look quite as effective, but it's just a lot less typing to do. Now, I know that my position of my enemy, so my bad guy, his position is 16.8, 4.95, and I've just rounded him up then basically on this bit of code here is just one line of code. So instead of it kind of bouncing off me, and it might potentially bounce off the map, I might actually just get it to respawn in its original position. So again, if I press play with that line of code added in, so I removed all those lines I did with the bounce inside of things and added just this one line instead. So as you can see, it basically goes back to its original point. So it gives you a chance to kind of get away if needs be. But basically, that's how you can kill the player by something smashing into it. Now, the next couple of videos shows you how to kill the enemy. So how to shoot it if you're going to do it that way. Might have to look into doing like melee weapons, how to hit the enemy away, that type of thing. But I'm sure if you start to combine some of the code you've used up to this point, you might be able to work that out yourselves.